Hi, Candace. How are you doing?
You sounded very southern in that
You know what
moment.
it is? I didn't mean to, but I also was like, we always start with you going, hi, Rob, and then me going, hi, Candace, how are you doing? And I'm like, I kind of want to make it sound a little different, but it just came out southern.
Well, welcome to South Rob.
South Rob. I used to live in the South, okay?
For a year.
It counts.
I'm not walking around with a British accent.
I mean, that's your fault, not mine. Just because I assimilated with the people.
You assimilated very well. Well, how has been your days?
Yeah, 2 days since we last met. I mean, it's been a full week. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's how we do things.
Yeah, right. We never just do record when we have time.
I'll look behind the curtain.
Right. I mean, the nice thing is, I no longer have COVID fatigue, so I feel like a human being again.
Congratulations.
Which is lovely, because I was worried that was going to go on for the rest of my life.
It will come back. I'm warning you now. Like, mine went away for a couple days, and then it came back a couple days.
Don't say that.
I just wanted you to know.
What? You should have lied. You should never. I never want it back. I hate it so fucking much.
It's not fun. But in the grand scheme of COVID symptoms, it's very manageable.
I mean, that is true, but ironically, when I had COVID, it was the one thing I wanted. I was like, you know what? I would love some of this COVID fatigue and just to sleep. No. I was like wide awake for a week.
Now you get it. Like, I got it post major symptoms too, and then just creeped up, and then it lasted for like a month.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's probably, honestly, as shitty as COVID was, I really do think the COVID fatigue is like the worst thing, because you just want to be back to normal, and instead, literally just doing something for like 5 minutes, you're like, I'm mentally drained.
But we also like don't know everything about long COVID yet. So
that's true.
To me, I'm just like, this is manageable, but I'm hoping like lungs aren't messed up, and my mind's going to the worst places.
In my mind, I'm like, I'm just back to normal.
Yeah. Well,
Minus the congestion.
I'm happy you are feeling better.
Yeah.
And it's been a lovely spring day today.
Oh, it was so gorgeous today. I took the puppies for a walk, and we had the windows open, and it was great.
Speaking of puppies, today we have 3 guest stars.
Yeah.
Acheron, Humphrey, and Potato in our episode, because husband Kyle cannot watch them tonight.
Yeah, the normal babysitter had to go do things.
Which is fine. He deserves to leave the house.
Does he?
So you will be hearing Potato's breath.
Yeah, welcome to This Creeps Me Out, Potato's breathing. He does sound like a stalker.
And I love him for that. So he will be my favorite guest star of all time.
Yeah, you might hear him a couple times.
And there may be a little bit of him going,
Yeah, probably a lot of him doing that. You should have named him Tina. He's like Tina from Bob's Burgers. Potato.
Yeah, no, but he's a cutie. He craves attention, and right now he's also needing some little pets behind the head.
Aw. Sorry, I'm just checking our outline really quick. I forgot how we're doing
There was
this.
not a 20-minute opening about Potato.
I mean, he was part of it, but like I couldn't remember what else we were going to talk about.
So, welcome to This Creeps Me Out.
Yeah, that's the name of the podcast.
I think, remarkably, that was only 3 minutes in for us to tell us about what the podcast title is.
I'm surprised. Sometimes I don't even think we would mention it.
Sometimes I don't think you even know the name.
It's episode 8. If you don't know what you're listening to, then you're me, because I can never remember the name of it either. But
today we're talking about one of my favorite things that creeps me out.
Well, are we getting right into it first, or are we going to talk about the other thing first?
We can talk about the other thing first.
We should talk about the other thing.
Go for
it. Sorry. So, for those of you out there who know, we really enjoy video games. Yeah. And we do really love horror video games like Dead by Daylight.
And stab.
Exactly. Which, if you don't know what Dead by Daylight is, it's just a game where 4 people play as survivors against somebody else who's playing as the killer.
The stabs.
Yeah, the Stabby McStabberson.
Yes.
And they have famous killers in there, like Mike Myers.
Ghostface.
Ghostface is in there. Pinhead is in there.
Wait, Pinhead's in there now?
Yeah, they put Hellraiser
in. A while.
Yeah, they've added some cool. And the Ring Girl is actually about to come out. Yeah, they put the Ring Girl in.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be her, because people always say that when I'm wet outside, they're like, she looks like.
People always say this to you.
Yes. Okay, there was was one time in middle school, because I took the bus to middle school, and it was pouring out, and I didn't have an umbrella. So I have very long hair, and it got in front
Candace has amazing hair.
But, like, it was in my face, and I'm showing Rob
You know what,
right
I see it.
And it was wet, and I was, like, walking into orchestra practice, and they're like, you look the girl from The Ring. And I'm like, well, fuck you. But, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see it.
But, yeah, no. And I feel like I would climb the wall.
She doesn't climb any walls in this, but she does climb...
well.
Oh, a well. That makes more sense. She does do that, but...
in the game, does she climb wells?
No, I think that's how she comes into the level, maybe.
Well, she should. Or through the TV?
There's TVs on the map. Yeah, so, like, and she can teleport through them, but you can turn them off. So it's like, it's cool, yeah.
I'm excited. We should definitely talk about The Ring when we talk about fear of media, because that is part of it, and I love those. I love those movies. They're kind of awful at times, but I love them.
The first one's really good. I feel like the second one was a little meh.
I watched it.
But the saddest part of the first one is when the hot guy dies, but that's neither here nor there.
The father of the terrifying child?
Yes.
Samara's not the creepy kid, it's the son.
I agree.
But that's for another time. But back to the topic.
So what we want to do is we're thinking of starting a Twitch. Where we play video games.
Yes.
Online.
With friends that we have.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously online. Otherwise there's no point of us telling you this.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what Twitch is a streaming website where people play video games and you can watch along and chat and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you guys are interested in that,
we would also be talking during it.
Oh yeah, it's very whatchamacallit, there's a word for this. Interactive.
There you go.
I did it.
You got there.
I'm actually proud of myself because usually if I forget a word, that's it, it's gone. My vocabulary gets smaller every day.
Yeah, you can't play Wordle.
And I was gonna say I beat Wordle on the second thing today.
Oh, see, I'm doing catch up. Like, I'm in the archive right now, so I think I'm on like number 50
of Wordle.
Yeah, there's an archive. You can play the old ones online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I decided to join Wordle really late, so I wanted to start at the beginning.
I feel I've been like really good about doing it, but I mean I've had reason to. I've been like bored or something, so like in between things, it takes 5 minutes to play that game.
Oh yeah, no, it's fun.
So it's like
Kyle and I play together at night.
Oh really?
But like we are on the same one in the archive, and then we cheat with each other. And I was just like, "What? Did you get a letter?" But what is the first word you play?
The first word I played? No,
like what is the word?
Oh, I go with Ghost.
You go with Ghost?
Yeah, because it has O, S, and T in it.
I do Bears.
Oh, that's smart.
And then I go with Mouth.
Oh, that's also smart.
So Bear's Mouth.
Bear's Mouth. That's a future episode.
So yeah, Twitch.
So yeah, we are planning on starting Twitch streaming. Hopefully you guys are interested in that at all.
If not, it will just be us talking to one another.
We'll just play together and it doesn't fucking matter. So,
but we will be playing one of my favorite games, which is Phasmophobia.
Yes, Phasmophobia.
Which last
Candace
fall
will be playing, because I hate that game.
Why do you hate that game?
I just don't like it anymore.
Are you just like, you're phased out? Or are you scared of it?
It's like both. Sometimes I'm scared of it. Sometimes, I mean, I'll play it. Realistically, I will play it.
I love playing Phasmophobia with you guys.
I just don't like a lot of the updates they've put into it.
I haven't seen those.
They've added like a lot of stuff. There's like way more ghosts now and everything. Like all the things that we wanted, just not in the way we wanted.
You mean you wanted a bank?
Yes, I wanted a bank and a town hall. Well, there was a town. Never mind. You get the
I know what you mean.
That's for Animal Crossing. That's something totally unrelated.
I mean, my island is spooky, so.
Yeah, you do have a spooky island. You should show it off on Twitch.
I should.
You can make a spooky island on Twitch.
It is spooky. You mean make it spookier? I don't want to start over.
Why not?
I put a lot of time in that island.
There's so much new shit, though, from like the Halloween updates.
I can just update.
You should just do it.
I have a fucking labyrinth.
When was the last time you played, Candace?
Oh, 9 months ago.
See, Potato agrees.
Come here, Taties.
But anyway, the reason why we also brought up Phasmophobia is because it segues so beautifully into our theme tonight, which is, do you want...
Poltergeists.
Yay!
So we are just talking about the type of ghost, which is poltergeist tonight. We are not talking about other specters.
Yeah, no, we're not getting into all the other ones.
So we thought that we like to do themes. That's kind of how we organize. Mm-hmm. But poltergeists, there are some really great stories to tell. So we thought we'd just get into this type of spooky ghost.
Yes.
So I will define poltergeist. So we all know
Yeah, in case you don't know what a poltergeist is.
So, poltergeist is German for loud ghost or noisy spirit.
That's what I was going to say. Let's finish. Sorry.
That's fine. So it's a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances, such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed. So sometimes poltergeists have pinched, bit, hit, and tripped people.
Which is rude.
Which is really rude. They're capable of movement or levitation. They can move furniture and cutlery. They can knock on doors. Sometimes stinky stuff like foul smells associated with poltergeists.
Yum.
Which is disgusting. Spontaneous fires. Electrical issues.
Fun fact about spontaneous fires.
You are one?
I am a flamer, but that's different.
Flickering lights. Troublesome spirits. They became common in the early 17th century. And we're going to talk about some 1600s.
Okay, gotcha.
You got there.
I knew it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk today, though, about then the ghosts from 17th century onwards that are called poltergeists.
You got this.
Poltergeists. And within this historical telling of poltergeist, there's obviously going to be a lot of hoaxes associated with it. Potato does not like a hoax ghost. He likes it real.
Yeah.
So we will be talking a little bit about that. Sometimes people have explained that poltergeists sometimes, instead of being actually haunted spooky things, were unusual air currents or sometimes underground water, which causes stress in the houses. So like it makes the houses kind of creak and groan. And some people have attributed it to psychokinesis as well. So there's a lot of weird stuff associated with poltergeists.
A lot of poltergeist things, it's always like there's like that weird belief that the people who it's like focusing around are doing it.
Yes.
But not like from a hoax perspective, it's the psychokinesis. Like the Carrie version.
The Carrie version, or one of my favorite miniseries for Stephen King is Rose Red.
Oh, yeah, Rose Red.
Yeah.
I love that.
Which, okay,
have not seen that
super
in so long.
hard to find. I was craving Rose Red the other night, and you couldn't find it anywhere. You had to like buy it online for $20.
Which is weird, because I remember it being like a pretty big thing.
I don't think it was
They
really
used to play it on TV.
It was on TV all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say it was on, when we were kids, it was on a lot.
Yeah, but it's like also like 5 hours long. It's a commitment.
Is it that long?
It feels like it sometimes.
I thought it was only 3, but it might be 5.
I don't know now.
I remember it being very long.
I love it, though. I love it.
There's that one part that scares the fucking bejesus out of me.
Which part?
When she closes... The one person dies. They, like, close the, like, attic door and, like, the fucking thing comes flying down the hallway.
Yes.
I don't like that part.
I love that entire
so
idea, because it's, like, based on, like, the Winchester House mansion, where,
is
the
it? I didn't know
rooms
that.
keep,
yeah.
Building themselves.
That makes sense, though.
So, which I hated that Winchester movie with a passion.
I didn't watch it. I think
garbage.
I started it and I was like, this is trash.
It was
turned it off.
Hot dumpster fire, then drowned by a giant fucking dick shark.
How do you really feel? And I feel bad because isn't Helen Mirren in that?
Yes.
And I love Helen Mirren.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic, but the movie was garbage, and I would think I was so upset because it was one of my favorite kind of ghost stories, like the house, like that, and they just...
The whole concept behind the Winchester house is...
fantastic.
And creepy.
Yeah, so creepy, but like they... awful movie. But Rose Red is great. I love Rose Red.
Yeah.
But yes, poltergeist can be kind of associated with that, with the psychokinetic abilities and all of that fun stuff. Oh, I reached my movement goal while sitting.
Oh, you did that last episode too.
It's my stand goal.
You gesture a lot. That's what
I
it
am a
is.
gesturer. Potato, let Rob talk about poltergeists.
Okay. What do you want me to talk about?
I think you were going to talk about the movie, right?
Oh, that's right. Forgive me. I am so off my game today.
Rob can't read.
That's true. So obviously there is a very famous movie.
I love
Poltergeist.
that movie.
I do too. My favorite part of the movie is Zelda Rubinstein.
Well, I know. Because every time
This house is clear.
Every time we played Phasmophobia,
Yes.
we would say, when we finished, this house is clear.
There's also the one scene where they're getting ready and we're just like, let's go get your daughter. That's how I walk into every single house in that game.
Oh. And now I just really want to play Phas. So I love that game so much.
And you will have so much fun.
Come on.
Do you know the actual story behind the movie?
I don't.
The inspirational.
Well, I mean, I'm
the inspiring
assuming
story.
there's some poltergeist attribute to them, like a native burial ground with that.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie, let's just say the movie did a really good job of taking what is super boring and making it something really good.
Okay.
Basically, all it is, there's a famous case in Seaford, Long Island, from the 1950s. And basically, like, all that happens, it's the Herman family, I think. Yeah, the Herman family. And, blah, 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 blah. Let me just let me read the article. So basically, all that happens is, something weird starts happening, and the teenage kids, there's a mom and dad, and I don't know how many teenage kids. There's like one or two of them. It doesn't matter. There's teenage kids. They had heard popping sounds that couldn't be explained.
Like someone's popping gum?
More like caps
locking?
off of like things.
Oh, like a cap gun.
No. I guess technically,
Like a soda
more
pop.
like a bleach cap popping off of bleach,
Oh.
or like soda. You know?
Okay.
So it was like shampoo, bleach, and a vial of holy water.
As one does.
Yeah. So, then it happened again and again.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So finally he calls the police because he can't explain the phenomenon. And then when they couldn't do anything, they did what all Catholics do, according to the article, is they call a priest. Yeah, exactly. To bless the home and rid it of harmful spirits. But instead, the incidents became more violent, with figures smashing and a bookcase falling over randomly.
Oh, shoot.
It was then suspected that they had a poltergeist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a demon, though.
Yeah. No, well, the Warrens didn't come here, so
Okay,
there's
that
no
makes
famous
sense.
demon story
Gotcha.
for this one. Actually, the story did go national and became the subject of a Life magazine article.
Really?
Yes. So, and it caught the attention of paranormal investigators who did not come to a conclusion about the poltergeist one way or another. So basically, what happened is the paranormal investigators went there, and that's when it suddenly stopped.
Oh, so they're just like, nothing's wrong kind of thing?
Yeah, it was. Well, they showed up to like investigate it, but everything stopped right when they basically got there.
Of course.
Yeah, so it was like
So it was the children's.
that's what everybody think it is. They think it was the teenage son. Although others have claimed that the teens have developed some sort of telekinesis that contributed to the objects popping and smashing.
What do you believe?
I believe it was a prank. But between February 3rd and March 10th of that year, almost 70 instances were witnessed.
70?
Yeah.
That's
a
a
lot.
substantial amount.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Huh.
And that's the story that inspired Poltergeist.
Okay, that's a nothing story.
Yeah, right. Like
That
that's what I
movie.
say. Like it's like there's so much meat and potatoes in the movie that
Like the clown doll?
or the devil being in the closet.
Well, that's true.
With R.
Okay.
Kelly.
Trapped in the closet.
Caroline, get in the closet.
That movie, still to this day, is horrifying.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because I watched it recently, and when I say recently, I mean within the past year.
That's recent enough for you.
Yeah, and it still scares me.
Yeah.
Especially when Caroline is just like, they're here. Or was that
Well,
the
she
second
was
one?
great.
Do you know all of the shit that happened around that movie?
Oh, yeah. No, I watched
Oh,
the
okay.
Shudder, but like behind the
So,
stories
yeah,
of
the really sad.
really sad
yeah.
and like no, watch it. I love watching behind the scenes of movies. Like it's a passion. So
Yeah.
especially horror movies, I think it's really cool to see kind of like how they did the makeup and how they organize everything, but also the actors and their experiences. And poor Caroline, that actress,
Yeah,
it's really sad.
well, never mind. Spoiler.
But the curse of the Poltergeist movie and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. So, Potato obviously hates Poltergeist.
He's not a fan.
and he's just like, "Ah."
He's so loud today.
I know, he's just like being a little schmoo.
I don't know if I wonder if this is being caught at all by the
It's like a
microphone.
Potato's a poltergeist.
Come here, come say it to
Come
the
here, honey.
people.
Come, tell your story.
He's like, stop willing them into the room.
Maybe he and
He's just
Zelda.
He's all the room.
This house
It's
is
not clear. It's
It's not clear.
Stop talking about it.
Come here, bud. Okay,
All
so
right, yeah.
onward and upward because he's going to still be Potato no matter
Yeah.
how many we potatoes. We
And
stop.
if you can hear him, I know we saw, but sorry.
Yeah. So, I was looking up some. You finished your movie story.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's not really much
Okay.
else to talk about Poltergeist.
I was looking at some earlier Poltergeists because, as we know, I really love the older stuff, and
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
trying to see kind of like where these legends originate and like why people are starting to label
If
things
you've all
poltergeist.
forgotten, Candace is a medieval arts major, so right? Medieval art
Yep.
history.
Well, art historian for PhD. I'm working towards it. But yeah, my master's was in medieval
You've got to be a
studies.
doctor.
Dr. Candace.
Dr. Candace
That's what they will call me.
of medieval art history.
Yeah, I can save lives. If you need to know what that painting is, I gotcha. St. Christopher, I gotcha.
Especially St. Christopher.
Yeah. So, I was looking into some older stories, as I was saying. A couple ones that popped up that were interesting were the Rarik Poltergeist, Rerrick. There was a pamphlet published about this poltergeist in 1696 by a local minister, and his name was Alexander Telfair. It was a farm called the Ringcroft of Stocking, which Ringcroft just made me think of the ring. I don't know. Yeah. It was inhabited by the family of a stonemason and farmer Andrew McKee, and was a site of mysterious occurrences, such as stones being thrown, cattle being moved, buildings set on fire.
So it's just Twister.
Yeah. Voices heard, family members were beaten and dragged, and notes were found written in blood.
Really?
Yes. Telfair wrote that neighbors were hit by rocks and beaten by staves, and that he had seen and felt a ghostly arm which quickly vanished. That's pretty cool. In the pamphlet, he describes various things suspected to have been the occasion of the trouble. It's capitalized, including McKay supposedly taking an oath to devote his first child to the devil, clothes left in the house by a...
Why is that always a thing?
Are you not leaving your first child to the devil?
No, I mean, I'm not having any children. But if I did, I wouldn't...
Puppy.
No, Froth ain't going to the devil.
Well, he may want to. You don't know.
He might just do it on his own. Yeah. He might not need my help.
Clothes left in the house by a woman of ill repute.
Oh my god.
And failure to burn a tooth buried under the threshold stone by a previous tenant, as was advised by a witch wife.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You need to repeat this sentence.
Okay. So
I don't understand what you just said to me.
So this witch wife, in quotes,
needed them to burn a tooth of a previous tenant?
Exactly. So the previous tenant's tooth.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that happens. I'm just assuming in real estate all the time, right? Someone just leaves teeth around.
I have yet to advise anybody to burn the teeth of the previous owner.
I think you should really add that into the contracts.
I don't think I should.
So you gotta burn that tooth, but declared the matter of the poltergeist still unknown.
Okay.
So his pamphlet was entitled A True Relation of Any Apparition, Expressions, and Actings of a Spirit, which infested the house of Andrew McKay in Ringcroft of Stocking in the parish of Rarik in the stewardship of Kirkcudbright in Scotland. Very long title.
That is
There's even more, but I'm not even going to go there.
Thank you.
And that was printed, I said, in 1696. And people were, trying to figure out what was actually happening. Was it imposter? Was it people kind of faking everything? They even accused one of the children of doing ventriloquism, which would then
I feel like you're giving the kid way too much credit there.
I'm just telling you what they think. There was a lot of skepticism associated with this case. But it has been a legend for hundreds of years that there was this poltergeist in this one area, which I think is pretty cool. But I love the written in blood bit.
Did they figure out anything else about it, or like?
There's just a lot of skepticism associated with it. They're just saying, like, I don't think it's real.
I feel like that comes with all poltergeist ones because there's so much, like... There's so much, whatchamacallit, like, physical evidence then of the, like, ghosts and, like, the spirit realm. That I feel like anytime somebody says that, immediately people are like, oh, I don't believe it.
Yeah. I know, but I was wondering, like, I think it's cool that this one is... from the late 17th century, and that they're still being like, I don't know, we should look into this. And sometimes I think they're just like, oh no, we'll lean into it. It's probably real.
So then here's a question, because if
it.
they're still looking into it, do you think then that poltergeists haunt a specific place regardless of, like, time, if that makes sense? Like,
I don't know. Cases, I mean, a louder noisy ghost if they're not...
Well, it's just because whenever you hear, like, cases about poltergeists, it's always like, oh, it, like, haunted this one family and then it stopped.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, technically speaking, it's a ghost. So, like, couldn't this, like, in this case, couldn't that poltergeist have been active since the 1600s?
I guess it could have been, but no one has really reported anything else except from the late 17th century that I found. I mean, I didn't do a ton of digging, but...
See, that kind of makes me then feel like that leans into the whole...
It's not real.
Yeah, because, like, you would think, like, a ghost isn't good. Like, if, you know, if it's like, whatchamacallit, The Conjuring 2, where he's like, my house, get out!
Oh, yeah.
like, you know, you think that would last
That
beyond.
one scared me.
That did? That
I
movie
didn't
scared
like
you?
it. I didn't like the late at night with a thing sitting in the chair. That bothers me. Because I'm just thinking about walking downstairs myself, and if you see somebody sitting in a chair in the corner.
That is true. Actually, ironically, the part of that movie that scares me more than anything is when they're at the Warrens' house, and the girl is like, "Mom," and the nun is at the end of the hallway.
Oh yeah, no, that's not fun.
That part scared the fucking bejesus out of me. But
Yeah, no, that wasn't
that's
fun.
a little unrelated, but.
You're right, because we're about poltergeists today.
Yeah.
So another one
technically, the Enfield Poltergeist is a poltergeist.
that is true. And it's in the title.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only reason I know that is because in my searching for poltergeist cases, it came up a lot, and I was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Huh. Good to know, though.
You didn't know that was a poltergeist?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well.
Okay, now I know.
We're killing it today.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
So the Stockwell Poltergeist is another one that's pretty early on, and they labeled this one as an alleged case of poltergeist disturbance in Stockwell that occurred in 1772. So now we're about 100 years after the first one, and Poltergeist Potato is here.
Oh my god, we can't keep referencing him. You need to be quiet.
So. On the 6th of January in 1772, at the house of Mrs. Golding, various cups, saucers, and stone plates were reported to have fallen from a shelf to the ground, and food was thrown across the room. Violent noises were also heard around the house. Golding wanted to take refuge with her neighbor, but the disturbances still continued. So yeah, she was just very disturbed by this ghost. Understandably. But William Hone, in his The Everyday Book, printed in 1825, revealed that Anne Robinson, who was then the friend of the woman who was haunted, later admitted that she faked the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, she had attached horsehairs and wires to move the crockery and thrown the other objects and made the noises herself.
Every time somebody turns around, she's like, woo!
Gotcha!
She's like, oh my god!
What was that?
I want to fake a poltergeist.
I'll help you.
I mean, I can't do it now because it's like, I guess I'll have to delete this. This part will get deleted. But I feel like I could do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain how you would do it.
My poltergeist would be really annoying though. Somewhere in North Carolina, Cameron is going to love this. But mine would be like, hi! It would be like I wish I could stop.
What?
Cameron and I have a joke, but I cannot say it on here.
Why?
It's so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, my poltergeist would absolutely talk like that.
Would you throw things?
Absolutely. Who doesn't want to throw things?
Would you throw specific things?
Oh, chairs, cups. I would just be like an angry Italian
Would you be a kitchen
mom.
poltergeist? Or
I would be an everything poltergeist. I'd
Okay.
throw candles. I'd just be all poltergeists are people have. Oh, not people. Well, I guess maybe
They're
people.
ghosts. They're,
Ghost
as
people.
we discussed, angry, loud spirits.
They're just having a temper tantrum.
And you could do that.
I could do that all day, every day. I'd be a great poltergeist. If I was a ghost, I'd be a poltergeist.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
And I would definitely search out Whoopi Goldberg.
Number one priority?
Well, only because of Ghost.
Yeah, but you would do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad you had these, plans.
If you've never thought about if you were a ghost,
Oh, no, all the time, but not a poltergeist.
what would you be? Would you be a banshee? Just like wailing.
I'm too tall.
You are too tall. You want to be a washerwoman?
I don't think my anatomy fits the bill.
Does anybody's anatomy fit the bill?
I don't know. Some of our
Have you
followers
walked
on
past
Facebook.
any woman who's like, you know what? She could be a washerwoman.
Now I think I should. I think I should make a list
Of people?
of people who could be washerwomen.
I don't think that's not a very long list. How many people's titties can be thrown over their shoulders?
We should find some.
Who's going to volunteer that?
I don't know. Okay. Another poltergeist story. This one is late 17th century. This was actually written by a man by the name of George Sinclair. He was a Scottish mathematician, engineer, and demonologist.
Of course.
Of course he was. He was the first professor of mathematics at the University of Glasgow, and he is known for Satan's Invisible World Discovered, printed in 1685.
Good for him.
Which is a work on witchcraft. So,
Surprise.
he had a wide variety of interests, as I can say, that was about, engineering, math, and demons. And his main book was on the Glenlock Devil, which was a poltergeist case from 1654. And he wrote about that in his book, another quote-unquote alleged poltergeist case. So another one that's saying, I don't think it's real, but I'm going to tell you the tale.
Fair.
And he mentioned how this tale was really used because it was to refute atheism. So then people would say, like, okay, this is real, and this is then saying that there's something related to God, and how, like, you can't have a poltergeist if you don't have the afterlife.
Fair.
So then it was kind of further proving the existence of God and the devil, which then is a good thing for Christians, right?
Yeah.
So that's what his kind of whole spiel was.
Okay.
The incident of the poltergeist took place at the house of Weber. Wow.
Weber.
Of Weaver.
That is the name of my first child, Weber.
Weebert.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
This is how you go.
I'm sorry, the COVID's coming back.
The Weebert.
The we of Weber. Go ahead.
Okay, the place, the house of Weaver,
Weber.
because his name is Gilbert, so I conflated
I don't
Weaver
care
and Gilbert.
what
I'm just telling you what I did.
Weber is the best thing ever.
Weaver Gilbert Campbell in Glenlock during October 1654. A beggar named Alexander Agnew was refused a handout by Campbell. Agnew had promised to cause the family harm, and over the next 2 years, strange phenomena were alleged to have occurred then in the house. This included the mysterious cutting of warp thread, demonic voices, strange whistling noises, and stones being thrown. The poltergeist claims have been dismissed by researchers as a hoax. Magic historian Thomas Frost suggested that the phenomenon was the result of conjuring trickery, which I really wish one day I could be called a magic historian.
A magic historian?
That's what I would like one day.
You could.
Thank you.
I don't see why you couldn't.
And
Dream big, I don't know what to tell you.
So that's the story of George Sinclair, which is these 3 stories I wanted to share as a way to tell you that a lot of these tales...
Poltergeists aren't real.
But that it's the alleged poltergeist bit.
Yeah.
And that these have been around since the 17th century and onwards. So they're not a new thing.
Yeah, but they're honestly, from my own research, are not a very popular occurrence anymore.
When people want to talk about poltergeists?
No, because if you type into Google famous poltergeist case, you get Enfield, and that's it. Like, and everything else is... I mean, you get the Herman case, which obviously because it inspires the movie.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of like cases of people talking about having a poltergeist anymore.
Do you think it's people just don't really know?
I mean, I guess it's hard because like
they're just like, it's the devil.
Some ghost cases, literally, it's like things will move and like whatever, but people don't call it like a poltergeist.
They just say it's a ghost.
Yeah, they just say it's like a ghost doing things.
I think it's because people just don't know how to organize their ghosts.
I mean, that or just, I think honestly it's also just because poltergeists are usually kind of aggressive.
Yes, I often think of that. Like the movie, like
if something just moves my candle from like one dresser to like another one, I don't see that as an aggressive action. But technically that's a poltergeist.
Think of like with the movie, right? Like they're like, oh, look at it, the chairs are stacking themselves. And they're like, oh, now my daughter sucked into a closet.
Well, I mean, that's different, because if your chairs stack themselves, that is kind of an aggressive thing.
Is it aggressive to make a pyramid?
Because the bitch, she fucking put the thing. See, this is why I can't have a poltergeist positive. But if you put those chairs like that, you better put them back. Okay, and that's aggressive to me because now I have to get them and put the chairs back.
That's why you would but you would do that though as a poltergeist. You'd be like, I'm gonna stack these chairs.
No, absolutely.
I think you're too lazy sometimes to be a poltergeist.
Wow. We throwing shade now. Okay. No, I'm not too lazy to be a poltergeist. First of all. I didn't know the dead could be lazy.
Oh my god, they absolutely can be lazy.
How can the dead be fucking lazy? They're dead.
They don't have to do things.
I mean, they don't have to do anything, but like...
That's tasks. Stacking chairs is a task. That was a choice by
but
that
you don't
poltergeist.
get any fatigue anymore.
I I don't know. We don't know that. Have you talked to a ghost about their COVID fatigue?
Ghosts don't get COVID, they're dead. Even if they do get COVID, it doesn't matter. What's going to happen?
I don't know.
Look, first of all.
You're telling me you would be like, I'm going to stack chairs today as a poltergeist.
No, I'd be way more annoying. I'd throw things into walls and like...
But that's just like, okay, I'm taking this can of soup and I'm going to throw this can of soup.
Absolutely.
That's not like, I'm going to plan to stack some chairs.
I mean, it's just, that wouldn't be like where my brain would go at first, but maybe eventually I'd get there.
Would you get like really like creative in your pranking?
I mean, you have to. You get... I mean, not that I don't know if ghosts get bored. But theoretically, if they get bored of what they're doing, like, you eventually are going to get pretty creative.
Yeah, I think I'd want to, like, really fuck with people. Like,
oh, absolutely.
But stacking the chairs, like, and they do it so quickly.
Well, I mean, yeah.
How do they do it so quickly?
I don't know. I'm not a ghost, Candace. I can't answer that question. I'm not an expert.
Not yet.
Not yet. One day. One day when the chairs in your kitchen get stacked, you'll know it was me.
I was like, oh, Rob's here.
Rob's here. And that fucker didn't put him back. But the one story I was able to find, I unfortunately couldn't get the full story on because this was like kind of an article that was like an advertisement for a book. But
so obviously pretty famous then.
It is. It's actually one of the most famous hauntings in London.
London.
But that nobody knows about because, as famous as it is, nobody knows about it. So it's the Battersea Poltergeist. Yeah, see, you didn't know it? I didn't know it either. And it happened at 63 Wycliffe Road in London. And it is a poltergeist. Oh my God, at the Wiebert house. A poltergeist case. See, that's what happened there.
You got there.
That spanned an incredible 12-year period.
Really?
Yeah, and at its height became a major national news story with newspaper headlines about strange noises, flying objects, exorcisms, and ghostly communication.
So they didn't know it was a poltergeist, that they were doing exorcisms.
Oh, no, they knew it was a poltergeist.
Oh.
But I mean, obviously the church thinks it's a demon every fucking time.
Obviously.
So basically all you have to know is that at the time it was like a poor working class area, blah, 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 blah. There's a guy, he has a wife, you know, the whole story. Yeah, and they have a daughter, Shirley, who was 15 at the time.
Oh, Shirley.
And Shirley kind of becomes the focus of the poltergeist.
Oh.
Yes. And
they always prey on the young.
Yeah. And so their lives were changed, as the article is so dramatic, their lives were changed forever. Oh, no. One night when they were woken by deafening bangs reverberating through the house, shaking the walls and floors.
That's big bangs.
Yeah, and so it started where it would happen every night, and then it would happen, then it got like worse and worse. It would happen during the day. Uh-oh. And it was so loud that like the neighbors would complain and come around.
That's something.
Yeah, it was like that bad. So at one point it got so famous that the BBC did like a live thing there.
A live like poltergeist recording?
They attempted to make contact with the poltergeist live on primetime TV on the BBC.
What?
And it was even discussed by the Home Secretary in the House of Commons.
Really?
Yeah, it was that big of a deal.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Multiple witnesses claimed to have seen bed sheets flying off beds, slippers walking around on their own accord, which is very Merlin in...
yes, I know. Stealing a book.
I would just put it to music. I would be like, this is fun. And chairs moving. Not stacking, just moving around. Oh, okay. Well. It's like that scene in the second one with the Enfield Poltergeist where their cops come and the chair moves. And they're like, we're just going to... As time went on, these events became increasingly violent. Uh-oh. Rooms were trashed, the house looked like a war zone in some cases.
So it sounds like someone was not picking up after themselves.
Yeah, literally. But there's even pictures here of marks on the wall that are supposedly from the poltergeist. It's like writing.
Well, what are they writing with? Is it scratching the wallpaper?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It's probably in the book.
Better go read it.
Yeah. So it initially follows like the established pattern that poltergeists have, which is generally like starting with like just some banging, then that getting worse, then things starting to move.
Okay.
But then it kind of takes on its own life, and this is kind of like realistically where it ends for us. In the book, they talk about you'll hear about spontaneous fires breaking out. Disembodied voices, writing appearing on walls and even on paper, seemingly letters from a ghost. And the ghost has a name. They nicknamed the poltergeist Donald.
No.
Donald the poltergeist.
Like the duck.
Yeah.
When was this again?
It's in London.
No, but when?
Oh, the 1950s.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think that's, like, unfortunately, I think that's really everything we have. Shirley has co-written a book with James Clark about her experiences called The Poltergeist Prince of London. And I believe apparently they have, I didn't see this before, but they do have a note on the article from Donald that was written inside a notebook at 1:15 a.m. on March 22nd, 1956. And it just says, Shirley, I come. So Donald was a peeping Tom.
Wow.
Yeah, poor Shirley.
Poor Shirley.
I didn't see that before, but that is fucking hilarious.
Well, Donald had a real good sense of humor.
Or a real thing for Shirley.
Aww.
So you can find the book, I believe, is called the story of the Battersea Poltergeist or the Battersea Poltergeist. It's written by Kate something. What's her fucking name?
It's really helpful.
Thank you. I know I'm great at this. It's only the 8th episode, Candace, right? The 8th episode?
We can't count.
It's near the 8th episode, if not the 8th
Oh,
episode.
it is. Yeah, I wrote that down earlier.
Oh, look at that. I was right. It's Kate something. What the fuck is her name?
Kate Milgrew.
It's not Kate Mulgrew. It's Kate...
McKinnon.
Nope, that's not it either. Good guesses, though. Keep trying. Shit, what the fuck is this woman's name?
Katie Schmady.
Katie Schmady. So go read. I mean, all you have to look up is the Battersea Poltergeist. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to find her name.
You're going for it.
Just fucking look up the Battersea Poltergeist and you'll find it.
Okay, so
I'm gonna actually. I do intend to actually kind of look it up and read it. So
that sounds very interesting. I wonder if there's an audiobook because that would
there
be fun.
probably is. Yeah. I'm sure. I think it came out recently.
I have no time.
Yeah, who realistically wants to sit and read something?
Who can read anymore?
No, I read listens to stuff in the car, like podcasts.
Yeah, like this. Oh yeah, by the way, like, subscribe, comment, please.
Yes, please do that.
That'd be great.
We'd appreciate it.
Thank
we
you.
love you. Potato loves you too. Potatoes. You haven't heard him this whole episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you probably about the juiciest poltergeist story that I have.
I don't know. There's still Donald.
That's it's pretty juicy.
Oh god.
This is the story of the Bellwich.
The Bellwich.
Have you heard of the Bellwich before?
No, but I've been called one, so.
So the Bellwich, or the Bellwich Hauntings, is a legend from southern United States folklore centered on the 19th century Bell family of northwest Robertson County, Tennessee. Farmer John Bell Sr. resided with his family along the Red River in an area currently known near the town of Adams. According to legend...
Where was this again?
In Tennessee.
Tennessee,
yeah.
sorry. Okay.
According to legend, from 1817 to 1821, his family and the local area came under attack by a mostly invisible entity that was able to speak, affect the physical environment, and shapeshift.
Oh, fun.
Some accounts record the spirit also to have been clairvoyant and capable of crossing long distances with superhuman speed, and or of being in more than one place at a single time.
Cool.
Potato really did not like that.
Yeah, no.
In 1894, newspaper editor Martin V. Ingram published his authenticated history of the Bellwich. So this case has been written about a lot, and people still actually go to this area of Tennessee to look for the Bellwich.
And when did it start?
This was in 1817 to 1821.
So then that answers our question from before. Some poltergeists do...
That's true. Yeah, still haunt the same areas. Yeah. Or just like there's a lot attributed to the same location kind of thing over a long period of time. So in modern times, some skeptics have recorded Ingram's efforts as a work of historical fiction or a fraud. Other researchers consider his work as nascent folklore study. So once again,
what was that?
Nascent folklore study. So they're just basically saying that it's folkloric. There's nothing really.
So then
of
why
it.
not just say that instead of confusing people like me? I have no idea what nascent is.
Nascent. Now you can.
Nascent?
Nascent. Nascent.
This is a podcast of just how fucking dumb I am. Let me read it really quick. Where is it? Nascent. Gotcha. For those of you who are like me, it's NASCENT. It's a little too long for Wordle, but now you know a new word.
Wonderful.
And what does nascent mean? Did you say that?
I think it's like part of the
See, it's not just me.
I'm just tripping over my words tonight.
I feel you.
So, there's also another location associated with the Bellwich.
Okay.
While not a fundamental element of the original recorded legend, the Bellwich Cave in the 20th century became a source of continuing interest, belief, and generation of lore. Okay. So even though this case is a little weird because the first accounts happen in 1817 to 1821, but a lot was then written about it in the late 1800s, like 1894.
Okay.
So, long time. This is going on for like...
What did she do?
Oh, I'll get to that. Yeah, she's
fun.
fun.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So, the poltergeist name is Kate.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. That's what the Martin V. Ingram, the guy who published the work in 1894, says. Mm-hmm. So, he calls her Kate. The one time they call her the old Kate's Batswitch. That's her full name. And she responded very favorably to the name, so she liked it.
I mean, I'd prefer that to Bellwich.
Well, old Kate Batswitch. That's a name.
Yes, very good. Yes, Helen.
The physical activity centered on the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy. So once again, really they're focusing on the youngest of the family.
How old is Betsy?
Do
we know?
Maybe not yet. I don't know. So Belle's youngest daughter, Betsy, and her father and Kate, the ghost, expressed particular displeasure when Betsy became engaged to a local named Joshua Gardner. Okay. So, Kate the poltergeist did not like that Betsy got engaged.
Okay.
The haunting began sometime in 1817, when John Bell witnessed the apparition of a strange creature resembling a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. Just made me think of the Grimm.
Yeah, right, that's what I would think.
Bell fired at the animal, but it disappeared. John's son, Drew Bell, approached an unknown bird. Is it an owl?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
There's always an owl.
Most likely an owl. Perched on a fence that flew off and was of unknown extraordinary size. So a really big bird.
Okay.
The daughter, Betsy, observed a girl in a green dress swinging from the limb of an oak tree. That would fucking scare the shit out of me. If
it's not a real girl. Which I'm assuming...
I don't think so.
Oh my god, sorry. I had to move and
Can't
I
even
just made a ton of noise.
Dean, who was a person enslaved by the Bell family, reported being followed by a large black dog on evenings when he visited his wife.
That sounds like a Grimm.
Activity moved to the Bell's household with knocking heard along the doors and the walls, which sounds like the
death
knocks.
I think they just are going to have a death in the family.
I know. The family
We solved the case.
We solved it.
We did it.
The family heard sounds of gnawing on the beds, invisible dogs fighting, and chains along the floor.
Holy hell.
Yeah. About this time, John Bell began experiencing paralysis in his mouth.
He's like, I can't do it.
It's because of Kate.
Take my tongue.
The phenomena grew in intensity as sheets were pulled from beds when the children slept. So, like, similar to your account.
That was so fucking rude, by the way. That would, more than chairs, like, that would piss me off. If I was sleeping and some dead motherfucker that I couldn't even, like, hit took my blanket off my bed.
I was like, woo!
I was like, guess who's getting the priest now, motherfucker? We were fine until you had to disrupt my sleep.
I know, you don't do that to you.
Mm-hmm. Somebody get the sage. We're going to sage this bitch.
Soon the entity pulled hair and scratched the children with particular emphasis on Betsy, who was slapped, pinched, and stuck with pins.
Oh my god, and her name's already Betsy.
I know.
It's like,
it's all bad. The Bells then turned to family friend James Johnston for help. After retiring for the evening at the Bell home, Johnston was awakened that night by the same phenomena. That morning he told John Bell it was a spirit just like in the Bible.
Of fucking course.
Of course. Soon word of the haunting spread with some traveling great distances to see the witch. The apparition began to speak out loud and was asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the voice answered feebly, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but have been disturbed."
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know, this is how you know it's not real because, like...
Who says that?
Yeah, like, and I can't wait, like, I can't wait, I won't be here for it, but I want to see videos of, like, hundreds of years from now, of, like, the ghosts from our time period. Who are you? Bitch, I'm trying to sleep and y'all be in my house! Get out! That would be me, that's me as a poltergeist.
So this account, which continues, this has also been fodder for the Poltergeist movie. And this bit especially. The spirit offered diverse explanations of why it had appeared, tying its origin to the disturbance of a Native American burial mound located on the property.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and sent Drew Bell Bennett Porter on an unproductive search for buried treasure. Can you? Which I'm like, that is such a good pranking thing to do.
Yeah.
There's buried treasure over there, and you just take it around for hours.
Maybe I've misremembered. Maybe
it was over there. With the emergence now of full conversations, the spirit repeated word for word 2 sermons, given 13 miles apart at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The entity was well acquainted with biblical texts and appeared to enjoy religious arguments.
Okay.
Like, let's just talk about Martin Luther right now. As another,
I mean, that's weird.
She's interesting. As another amusement, the witch shared gossip about activities
at
other households, and at times appeared to leave for brief moments to visit other homes after an inquiry.
Like the Real Housewife goes somewhat. What's the place? Tennessee.
John Johnston was a son of James, devised a test for the witch, something no one outside his family would know, asking the entity what his Dutch step-grandmother in North Carolina would say to the slaves when she thought they did something wrong. It's potato.
No, I'm laughing because it's something I thought of.
What'd you think?
I just imagine her being like, the only thing fake about me is this wooden leg, and then taking somebody else's wooden leg and throwing it across the room.
Why?
Have you never seen that in The Real Housewives?
No.
One of them had like a fake leg, and she was like, the only fake thing about me is my leg, and then she like, throws her leg. It's at one of the reunions. Sorry, forgive me. I just had a moment. Forgive me.
Fine, you got there.
That was fucking funny though.
So like he tested the poltergeist basically and asked for her to repeat what his grandmother said, and she actually got everything right, even in the correct accent. At times, the spirit displayed a form of kindness, especially towards Lucy, John Bell's wife, the most perfect woman to walk the earth.
Is that what that says?
That is a quote from this article.
Okay.
The witch would give Lucy fresh fruit and sing hymns to her and show
sweet.
John Bell Jr. a measure of respect. Referring to John Bell Sr. as Old
Why
Jack.
did she hate Betsy so much?
Because she didn't want her to get engaged. Referring to John Bell Sr. as Old Jack, the witch claims she intended to kill him and signaled this intention through curses, threats, and afflictions. The story climaxes with the Bell patriarch being poisoned by the witch. Afterward, the entity interrupted the mourners by singing drinking songs.
Like, what the fuck?
In 1821, as a result of the witch's entreatment, Betsy Bell called off her engagement to Joshua Gardner.
Oh, thank God.
Subsequently, the entity told the family it was going to leave, but return in 7 years, in 1828. The witch returned on time.
Okay, well, good for her.
Good for her. To Lucy and her sons, Richard and Joel, with similar activities as before, but she chose not to encourage it, and the witch appeared to leave again. Several accounts say that during his military career, actually Andrew Jackson was intrigued by the story, and his men were frightened away after traveling to investigate.
Okay.
So this is just kind of saying how popular the tales were.
I can't believe I've
Bellwich.
never heard this before.
The Saturday.
How is this not a movie?
There are, I think, there are versions of it. So Saturday Evening Post even talked about it. People would refer to her as the Tennessee Ghost or the Bell Ghost. People would... Potato? Come here.
You gotta come
here,
down,
love.
my man. Don't you start, Akron.
They're all acting up now. So people would try to go and see manifestations of her. So then they would kind of like... I mean, obviously, the ghost hunters, right?
I mean, I would go in a heartbeat.
Oh, I know, but people like really for hundreds of years want to go see the Bellwich. So yeah, people talk about it for a long time. There was a haunted house even in 1880. So once again, right, the story took place in like 1819, 1820, but now we're getting 1880. An article was published regarding a haunted house in Springfield, Tennessee, where knocking underneath the floor was heard. So not the same location, but like people are trying to like get the popularity. The fourth night of knockings began at 10:30 p.m. and ended at 4 a.m. with the house surrounded by 10 to 12 people who were working in an effort to discover the origin of the sound. In a follow-up report from 1826-1880, the writer then said that many people witnessed the phenomena and that people then went back the days later to with more investigators to try to find it. So this knocking was very strange in this household. And this one they actually attribute to a woman. So this woman, they found out she would attach an iron ball to a rubber belt hidden under her clothes and just walk around to make the knocking on the door.
That's hilarious.
Which I'm just like imagining her just be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Could you imagine how annoying it would be to be there from 10:30 at night to 4 a.m.?
Just walking.
Well, not even that, just trying to figure out what's making the noise.
I know. And then everyone's like, people are coming from around being like, what the hell is this loud knocking?
I would be so mad at her.
Oh, yeah.
But good on her for thinking of something
good on
creative.
her. And then another account in 1886 in the history of Tennessee, there was a short account of the legend that identified the spirit of the Bellwich as female and the interest in the phenomena again. So people really love to talk about the Bellwich. They say that sometimes it even shook hands with people. So,
That's so
very
weird.
friendly.
I've never heard of a spirit being this active and weird.
And she would sometimes take the sugar from bowls, spill the milk, take the quilts from the beds, slap and pinch the children, and then laugh at the discomfort of its victims.
Could you imagine? This sounds like a comedy.
I know. The Bellwich really, she's got it all going for her. But
She's a fun ghost.
she's fun. I mean, she's a little violent.
I
She
would-
cursed that one guy. So
I mean, I don't think I would want her around because if somebody was pinching me and laughing at me all the time, I think I'd be really annoyed by it. But at least she's not
you'd
like...
visit her. You'd be like, but she would also visit other people.
Yeah, see, I don't think I'd want to start communication with her because I'd be like,
Well, she was a gossip queen.
Well, I don't mind that. That's true. She's like the best gossip queen too
Yeah.
because she can go anywhere she wants.
Really
and learn
quickly.
Anything. Yeah.
But then she'd also talk about religious tracts, which I don't think I'm really for.
I mean, that's fair. I would. I mean, you should be in a way.
Actually, if we talk about the historical stuff, yeah. But
She could probably tell you some really interesting shit.
let's.
She could be like a first person account source.
Okay, well, you
things.
Invite her to your house for dinner,
No,
and
thank
then
you.
I'll come by.
For dinner. Yeah. What do you think she's gonna want to eat?
She liked the sugar bowls.
She like to throw them.
Well, maybe she really wanted to lick it. I don't know. The Bellwich. She's a very interesting poltergeist.
She's an interesting everything.
I really like her. I think she's got a lot going for her. Good old Kate.
Yeah. She's gonna be on the new season of Real Housewives of Tennessee.
She'll do great.
She would
She
be
gossips between 13 miles. She can have
Somebody
a
should
conversation.
do that. That would be a very funny movie. The Real Housewives of Tennessee, but she's one of them.
The Bellwich.
Yeah.
You know,
my God.
I'm for it. I'm for her.
That's a genius idea.
Yeah. So, did you have another tale?
Not really, no.
Well, we can go.
The only thing I had was the Sicilian fires thing, but that's short. So
Well, we
it's
can
like-
talk about Jeff.
Yes,
Jeff.
Jeff. Is it Jeff or Geff?
So
Jeff
it's
with
spelled.
a G.
I think it is spelled Jeff with a G because that's how it's pronounced with a pronunciation next to the name.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. But it is spelled Gef.
Yeah, so it's Jeff with a G.
Also referred to as the talking mongoose or the Dalby spook.
The Dobby Spook.
The Dalby spook.
That's fine. Oh, but it's not like Dobby. It's
No,
spelled
it's
like
Dalby.
ugh. Like Weebert.
Yeah. It was the name given to the alleged talking mongoose, which was claimed to inhabit a farmhouse owned by the Irving family. This is a crazy story.
Yes, it is.
I want you to hold on to your shorts.
Okay.
Have you read anything about Jeff before?
No, because when we first talked about doing Poltergeist, I almost pulled this one. So I know some things about the ending, but I don't know the meat and potatoes of it.
There's a sketch of Jeff.
I love the sketch. I actually did not realize that was a sketch.
What do you think that is? A photograph?
No, I just thought it was like a bad painting.
That's Jeff. Jeff the mongoose.
Isn't he? Never mind. You go ahead. You tell the story.
But do you think he was a duck?
No, I knew he was a mongoose. I'm not an idiot. It says Jeff the talking mongoose. I was like, this is clearly a duck. No, I thought it was a taxidermy mongoose, not.
No, this is a real fucking mongoose, Rob.
Oh, I thought because like I said, when we talked about it, it was like I had literally pulled it but didn't read about it.
Gotcha.
So I thought, which I think it would have been way better if it was more like Salem from the like 90s version of Sabrina. Yeah, like, just like a taxidermied friggin' mongoose that talks.
No, Jeff is something. So I don't know if anyone has heard about Jeff before. I did not. And when I saw the name Talking Mongoose was listed as one of the famous history of Poltergeist, I was like, Jeff needs to be my new best friend.
Absolutely. You need to talk about Jeff.
Yeah, so here we go.
Sorry, I meant more like you saw it and you're like, I need to talk about Jeff. Not like you need to
talk about Jeff.
I'll give you 2 seconds to start talking about Jeff.
The Irving's farm was located at Cashin's Gap near the hamlet of Dalby on the Isle of Man. The story was given extensive coverage by the tabloid press in Britain in the early 1930s. The Irving's claims gained the attention of parapsychologists and ghost hunters such as Harry Price, Hereward Carrington, and Nandor Fodder.
I'm sorry. Oh, he was mentioned in one of the ones
Nandor the Relentless.
Yeah, well, no, just Nandor. I think he was a part of the Battersea one, too.
Oh. So, let's talk about Jeff. In September 1931, the Irving family consisted of James, Margaret, and a 13-year-old daughter named Voirrey.
Wait, what was her name?
Voirrey. Voirrey.
Wait, what? Where is this?
Voirrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird. Sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, never mind.
I know, it's we don't know
Sometimes
the name.
You just have to look at it.
Yeah. They claim they heard persistent scratching, rustling, and vocal noises behind their farmhouse's wooden wall panels that variously resembled
The Weebirds. Resemble the Weebirds.
I'm not doing well today.
Apparently my inability to talk is contagious.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Resembled a ferret, a dog, or a baby.
Or a baby. Okay.
According to the Irvings, a creature named Jeff.
I can't believe it. It's always some fucking weird name.
Introduced itself and told them it was a mongoose born in New Delhi, India in 1850.
New Delhi?
Yeah.
New Delhi? Oh my god.
I'm done.
You're gonna be a doctor. New Delhi, India. It's like if Moira Rose was reading about you. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, the mongoose was born in India in 1852.
I can't believe you said New Delhi. That was so funny to me, so I continue.
Yeah, according to Voirrey, remember the
Voirrey.
the girl?
I love that you got Voirrey, which nobody's gonna know that. You could have lied. You could have called her Valerie. Nobody would have fucking known. But Delhi is the one that tripped
I
you
couldn't
up.
get Delhi. Jeff was the size of a small rat with yellowish fur and a large bushy tail.
Okay.
So that's what Jeff looks like.
He's a mongoose.
He's a mongoose. The Irvines say that Jeff communicated to them that he was an extra clever mongoose. An earthbound spirit and a ghost in the form of a mongoose. And once said, get this, I am a freak. I have hands and I have feet. And if you saw me, you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone or a pillar of salt.
What the fuck?
I am an extra clever mongoose.
An extra clever mongoose named Jeff.
Named Jeff. Which I feel like that's me.
From New Delhi.
That is me. The extra clever mongoose.
And I resemble.
The Irvines made various claims about Jeff. He supposedly guarded their house and informed them of the approach of guests. Or an unfamiliar dog was like, ding dong, welcome guests.
Is that his...
No.
It wouldn't surprise me based off everything we just learned about him.
They said that if someone had forgotten to put out their fire at night, Jeff would go down and stop the stove.
Well, then he's handy.
He's very handy.
Good on him.
He's got the hands and the feet.
He's a very clever mongoose.
The Irvines claim Jeff would also wake people up when they overslept.
He's very helpful. I want Jeff to come to my house.
And whenever mice got into the house, Jeff supposedly assumed the role of the cat. Although he preferred to scare them rather than kill them.
Oh, I'm with them on that.
Yeah.
Good on you, Jeff.
The Irvines say they gave Jeff biscuits, chocolates, and bananas, and food was left for him in the saucer, suspended from the ceiling, which he took when he thought no one was watching.
He's like Santa Claus.
Yes. The Irvines claimed the mongoose regularly accompanied them on trips to the market, but always stayed on the other side of the hedges, chatting incessantly. The story of Jeff became really popular in the tabloid press, and many journalists flocked to the isle to try to catch a glimpse of the creature. Several other people, both locals and visitors, claimed to have heard Jeff's voice, and 2 claimed to have even seen him. However, physical evidence was lacking. Footprint stains on the wall and hair samples claimed to be evidence of Jeff were identified as belonging to the Irvine's sheepdog, as several photos were claimed to be what the Irvines said that was actually Jeff. So it's actually the sheepdog, they're saying, not the clever mongoose. Margaret and Voiry Irving, so the daughters of the family, left the home in 1945 after the death of James Irvine. They reportedly had to sell the farm at a loss because it had a reputation of being haunted by Jeff the mongoose.
I mean, yeah.
In 1946, Leslie Graham, the actor who had bought their farm, claimed in the press that he had shot and killed Jeff.
What?
The body displayed by Graham was, however, black and white and much larger than the famous mongoose, and Voiry Irving was certain that it was not Jeff.
I'm not surprised.
She died in 2005.
Did she really?
In an interview published late in life, she maintained that Jeff was not her creation.
Okay.
So yeah, and there's been investigations into it called the Haunting of Gatians.
Wait, so he's not fake?
No. People keep thinking that Jeff is real.
I thought he was a hoax.
There has been critical reception of it, so...
Well, I mean, come on.
So, there's a whole gallery as well of the alleged foot tracks and teeth marks from Jeff. The critical reception is psychic investigators thought that Jeff was a poltergeist or a ghost. Skeptics, including residents on the Isle of Man, believe that Irving family had concluded to perpetuate a hoax that was originated by their daughter, Voiry. Which is why then she claimed up until her death that I did not create Jeff.
I mean, to be fair, the details are so specific and weird that I'm like...
I am an extra clever mongoose.
Okay, not that part, but like the fact that he would follow them to the market and stay in the hedges and chatter, like, you know what I mean, like things like that are like weird. Like, who's gonna think to be like, oh, we should do a thing like where he stays at the market?
Well, I mean, you could say like, what if you're going to the market and you're just like, did you not hear Jeff? He's my little clever mongoose. So we're just making a lot of noise today.
Yeah, we have our own poltergeist.
Yeah. So people suspected that Voiry used ventriloquism and other tricks, the effects which were hyped up by family members. So saying that this was all Voiry's little clever little gag and that her family just kind of continued with it and then, or like maybe they believed it and then who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Contemporary media scholar Jeffrey Sconce writes that the most likely explanation is that this, quote, this extra clever mongoose was an imaginary companion created by the Irvines' extra clever daughter.
I mean, that truly does make the most sense.
Yeah.
But I'm so inclined to believe her.
I think Jeff is real.
I want him to be real, if I'm honest.
And then they have images here of the foot tracks left by Jeff, the sheepdog, and then their house.
Yes.
But I think I would love Jeff as a poltergeist. He was extremely handy.
He's fun. He's like Kate.
Oh, no. Kate had some problems.
Kate had some problems, but I mean, Jeff, that's true. Jeff was more helpful.
Okay, Kate cursed the dad, tried to poison him.
I know, and like rip people's bed sheets off and pinch them. But she's at least fun, is my point.
So you want that?
No, I would prefer Jeff.
I want Jeff. Jeff
is kind of creepy, though, because like imagine like you're sleeping and then you wake up and just mongoose.
Yeah, but if you know he's there.
Yeah, but...
Okay, if he becomes like your new friend, like Frolf. It's Frolf
and
Jeff.
Yeah, but Frolf doesn't talk to me.
Not yet.
Not ever.
I don't know. I think I would like Jeff. G-E-F Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff with a G.
Jeff with a G.
I don't think I would want him, no. No. As useful as he is, he's weird.
Okay. That's fair.
Like, he describes himself as an extra clever mongoose.
Extra clever mongoose.
Same thing.
This is very important, this distinction.
It's true, but still.
Yeah, no, but out of all these poltergeists, does not matter if you believe or not, I think Jeff is an all-star winner. He's the happening star of poltergeists.
I thought he was fake.
I mean, they all probably have some version of being fake.
I mean, true, it's just like, I really thought that he was a proven hoax.
This is really disgusting that he's probably a hoax.
I mean, yeah.
It's that the daughter who everyone is saying created it is saying...
Yeah, but...
Up until her death, which I think is interesting, because sometimes people will, like, before their death be like, Gotcha.
No, I think if I did something my entire life, I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna go with this one. This is my legacy.
Yeah, well, Jeff is her legacy. And I would love to know if she had any children, if they kind of continue the stories of Jeff. Oh, we have also a picture of Voiry here. She looks pretty solemn. Maybe she needed Jeff in her life.
She looks normal to me. She's just not smiling in the photo.
Because she didn't have her little mongoose.
Yeah.
And that stupid actor who's then going to shoot a mongoose.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Leslie Mann, is that who it was? Or Leslie Graham?
Yeah, Leslie Graham in 1946. Which, like, bought the farm and then shot another person's mongoose.
Which is messed up. What if it was I mean, I'd be mad because it's like, that's like when people go like on safari and shoot like endangered animals.
You shot a talking
like
mongoose.
Imagine if you found Jeff and he talked and you shot him.
Oh, an extra clever mongoose.
Yeah. And then he's like dead. That's such a human thing to do.
Yep.
Do you have any poltergeist stories of your own?
I don't think so. I have not been nearly as haunted as you.
I don't think I have like a poltergeist story, but there have been times where I remember specifically, and this is like a dumb one, and somebody's just gonna make fun of me and say I'm lying, but
I will. Don't worry.
Thank you. I remember one night I was like, whenever I go out, I bring like my wallet, my keys, obviously,
like
my phone.
People normally do.
Yeah, but also my chapstick because
Chapstick.
Chapstick. That's why the Mothman never deals with me because I always have it. But
my lips are always very moisturized.
can't get me. I know where my chapstick. Oh, I guess that's the whole point. Never mind. Anyway, I forgot like what happened there. But I was like, my chapstick's not here, and I always leave it with like my stuff because I always put it all together. And so I was like looking all over the house for my chapstick, which is a weird thing to look for. But I was like, I must have left it somewhere. Weird. And then when I went back, it was with everything.
Did you just miss it?
No.
Or do you have a Jeff?
No, I don't think I have a Jeff because nobody talked to me. An extra clever rat wasn't like, I did it. But no, it was like, no, but it was like, it was with my stuff again. Huh. And I was, and I know, like, it was like, I know people will be like, you're just an idiot and you missed it. But like, I realistically, like, I searched that entire area before I went looking.
It wasn't Kevin.
It was, no.
Is Kevin Jeff?
No, Kevin's not Jeff. Kevin with a G. But,
Jevin.
Yeah, but I have had stuff like that happen. Huh. My dad actually had a poltergeist. Yeah, before, when he was younger, he lived with like one or two of his friends. And they lived in this old farmhouse.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they like rented it or something. And they had a ghost that would move stuff around and like do stuff. Yeah.
So your dad has a habit of living in haunted houses.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him for his story. I'll tell it on the next one.
That is interesting. I did not know this.
Yeah, I always forget about it, but he did. He had like a poltergeist.
Well, this is reminding me, my mom, when we were kids, she told us a story of how, I think she was the only one in the house when she was a kid, and she was cleaning up the upstairs, and everything was clean, and my grandparents' bedroom, there was an attic that was adjacent, like you could like open the attic door from the bedroom, and she was downstairs after she cleaned everything, and then she heard a ton of noise upstairs.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then, which I'm like, raccoon, obviously.
It's obviously a raccoon.
It's or a mongoose. You don't know.
It was like, get out of my house! Like, that's a raccoon. Really.
So she goes upstairs and she says everything was a mess.
That's so obnoxious.
So it's like, was that a poltergeist? Or was it a raccoon?
I think it was both.
It was a poltergeist raccoon.
Yeah, it was exactly.
Named Lisa.
Why Lisa?
Why not?
Oh, I thought maybe that's what she named it.
No, I just made this
up. Oh, you just made that part. Okay.
No, but I don't know. I haven't asked her about that one in a while. But
you should ask her.
I remember she told me that when we were little, and I was always afraid of the upstairs. Of everything.
I mean, that makes sense. I would be afraid then.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, that's pretty much...
I think that's it on Poltergeist for us. I definitely now want to rewatch the movies.
Yeah, me too.
I was going to before this, but then I was like, oh, I watched it about a year ago.
I want to look up more about the Bellwich, and I do want to read the Battersea.
That is a
Poltergeist.
That to be reported and investigated so high up is intriguing to me.
And I want to know if anything happened during the BBC.
That reminds me of The Conjuring too, though, because remember they had like really big reporters there in the movie.
I love that England will just lean into that shit.
I love it.
And they'll be like, all right, send a crew out. Let's see if we can get it on TV.
Let's just do it.
But yeah, but if any of you have any poltergeist stories,
Please tell
specifically,
us.
yeah, please let us know.
And if anyone wants Jeff to live in their life,
yeah, we'll do a poll. Who do you want more, Jeff or Kate, or none of the above?
I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna go with Kate. For me, I'd go with Jeff.
I'm going with none of the above.
Then we will welcome whatever
I like
weird
peace
thing.
and quiet, and I don't want to live with a ghost.
Yeah,
I've
you
done
would
it.
become a poltergeist.
I would. I mean, I would absolutely be a poltergeist for sure, but
Yeah.
that's not the point here. I don't want to live with one currently.
Yeah. Well, next week on This Creeps Me Out, we will talk about some big creepy boys.
Yeah, the big hairy boys.
The big hairy boys. That's all we will tell you for now.
Yeah.
But I hope you enjoyed our walk down Poltergeist Jeff Lane.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The ghostly power extends to inanimate objects as well as to human beings and animals. Armor and costumes seem to have a material immortality of their own, for it is quite common to recognize spectral visitants by their garments or accoutrements. This quote is attributed to Dorothy Scarborough, Ph.D., from her book The Supernatural in Modern English Fiction, 1917.